So I want to talk about this story because I don't know how long. Joey, I know you have your show. How long do we have you here?
I got 20 minutes. It's
Okay, so
someone who's probably a boomer when it comes to
okay.
figuring stuff out.
So
So
I have this story that we're going to pull up, and then after this story, we have another Project
story.
Veritas video that dropped it, and it's actually from James O'Keefe. He has Project Veritas again, so
Yes,
That's what I was watching.
yeah, they were posting. They're posting on there again. Really good. Really glad to see that he got that back.
Is he going to merge the two? It's going to be like OMG, ProjectVeritas.com.
Right? I don't know. Right?
Oh my God, Project Veritas, you bastard!
But so they got a really he's got some good clips for us. But I want to talk about this first
Magazines
because this is hilarious in my opinion. Israel, this is from the Telegraph. Israel to stop training female combat soldiers over lack of fitness.
Good.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Israel has stopped training female soldiers for combat over health and fitness concerns. The Israeli Defense Force, the IDF, has ended a pilot program for women to serve in combat mobility units after finding they were unlikely to meet the required standards after 6 months of training. The IDF said female trainees showed very high abilities in the professional fields, but in combat and physical fitness, they were not expected to successfully complete the requirements for the profession.
You know, they tell us to listen to the professionals and stuff. Meanwhile, us little people on the streets can tell you this for free. Meanwhile, they've spent billions of dollars in training and funding and paying these women to be inefficient at their jobs when we all could have told you that they wouldn't be good for it. Like first of all, the Army, you're taking like the best of the best, maybe not the best of the best, but like very overall well-rounded men and putting them in the field. And like, you need to be unbelievably top tier. And if you're that type of woman,
I'm perfectly fine with women being drone pilots. We don't need them in the field.
If you're going to be a top tier woman, right? You might as well do something like be a tennis player because you're going to make way more money that way.
Okay. As a female who wanted to enlist but was broken in the eyes of the military, so I could not enlist. And 90% of my family is military. So, my stepmom was a master sergeant. She served in the Air Force for 25 years. I personally feel that there are specific positions for women. Yes, women definitely need to be able to do PT. They cannot be overweight. They have to be able to meet basic requirements. However, they do not need to be in combat positions, because they're not going to be able to do what men can do. There's only like 5% of the female population that can, and in those 5%, how many are actually going to want to join the military and do what the men do? It's like 0.5%.
Well, and
so if
even
they want to do
that,
it and they can do it, and they meet all of those physical requirements, hoorah, more for you, honey. Go for it. But if you can't, then sit the fuck down.
Well, so Israel, it's mandatory to join the armed forces for all citizens. And with the recent statements by Netanyahu about completely taking over Gaza, this news comes no surprise to me. If they're going to start going through kicking down doors, you don't want women doing that job. You don't want the enemy combatants who are going to be primarily male. You don't want them to be going up against a woman in close combat like that.
Now, females should be trained, because God forbid something happens.
You should be able to if you need to, but you should not be sent on the front line.
Exactly. They need the training, because they have knowledge is power. If you have it, you know what to do, you're less likely to fuck up.
Yeah.
What do you think about female combat medics?
They're easier in and out, honestly, because they're smaller. And again,
if they're not fighting, I think that's fine.
Firemen carry at least 200 pounds.
Yep.
But that's the thing: is you cannot carry 200 pounds.
Yeah, dude. If we're looking at Joey and then like 240 pound Helga, like I'm going with Helga. Helga needs to carry me out. I'm not asking Joey to carry me out.
No, yeah. See, so it's like somebody physically like Pat the plumber. He's big dude versus somebody like Joey. I personally would be able to fireman carry Joey over Pat.
Then Pat's gonna die.
Yeah, sorry, Pat.
That's part of the issue, right?
You got to figure it out, buddy. Right.
But yeah, no. So if we're talking about combat medics, it really does depend. I think it would, if we're talking about frontline combat, again, if it's like frontline combat, you're definitely going to be encountering enemy combatants. I'd say no. But if it's like, it depends on certain missions. I'm fine with it in certain aspects, but if it's like for sure you're going into combat, no.
Yeah. Like instead of front line, secondary line, kind of an idea.
Yeah, like secondary objective sort of stuff. Like, I don't know.
Again, if a female is physically fit to do it, I'm fine with frontline combat vet. However, if they cannot do it, no. They can be a medic. That's cool, but you don't need to be on the front lines.
Maddie said, "I'm 5'4". Can you carry me, Nora?"
Once I'm cleared, yes, ma'am, I can. I'm 5'5", and I can carry. Before I got hurt, I could deadlift 200. Like I could, before I got hurt, I could fireman carry somebody who was 210 pounds.
Nice.
I could military press my own body weight. So this is why I say there are some females who are built a specific way. And if you can do it, awesome, more power to you. But if you can't, go do what you can do. Go be helpful in another way.
Well, so it says here, medical data indicated a possible health risk resulting from the continued training, partly in light of the expected increase in physical burden. So, like, I mean, some of the training that these military boot camps put you through are a lot of stress. Even guys, they don't make it through boot camp because their fucking knees give out. I know someone who literally got discharged from the military because he was carrying around that 100-pound rucksack, having to walk a bunch of miles. His fucking legs gave out. His knees gave out. So,
there's plenty of guys that get shin splints.
Yep.
And their shins will break, or they roll their ankles, or one of my friends was actually medically discharged because of basic training. He made it 90% through basic and then went up and over and then ended up dislocating something in his spine. And they're like, yep, nope, sorry, dude, you're out.
You're out. Yep. So Midwest Mysteries, Joey, do you guys have any final thoughts on the Israel stopping training females?
They should have done it a long time ago.
I think the United States should follow suit.
Yep. Yeah, agreed.
Yep.